Hello, single mother. Welcome once again to our channel. This is the BCQ Ministry, and my name is Dorcas Igariva. And here we know that though we are broken, we know that we have been called, we are qualified, and we have been anointed to go out and reach out to women and girls in our spheres of influence and also change the narrative concerning single motherhood. Welcome once again. Today we'll be looking at another topic, and I titled it Tough Love. I once heard about the concept of tough love from Dr. Dobson, and it changed my perspective that you can actually practice tough love in marriage. There's a certain point in your marriage, mostly in an abusive situation, where you have to practice tough love. So today we are addressing that topic, um, practicing tough love in an abusive marriage. This discussion is essential for understanding how to protect yourself while also making difficult but necessary decisions for personal well being and safety. Last week, we talked about retreat and surrender. This week, we're looking at practicing tough love. And our scripture reading is taken from 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 6, and Ephesians chapter 4 and 15. And First Corinthians says, love does not rejoice at at wrongdoing. In my note, I said, love in brackets, God does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. And the other scripture said, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from out of it. Another version of the Bible said, out of your heart flows the issues of your life. So let's go. Understanding tough love. Tough love is a concept that involves setting firm boundaries and making hard decisions to promote the well-being of oneself or others. In the context of an abusive marriage, it means prioritizing your safety, dignity, and self-respect, even if it involves difficult choices such as separation and divorce. Tough love involves setting boundaries, correcting behaviors, and encouraging accountability, all while demonstrating love and care. The Bible offers wisdom that can guide us through tough decisions. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This scripture emphasizes the importance of protecting our inner well-being and taking actions that ensure our safety and health. Let me talk about my story here. I was pregnant. I was pregnant with my second son when I first moved out of the house. The environment was so toxic. I was stressed out from him fighting with me even in pregnancy. It was difficult. It was hard. For a pregnant woman to be beaten, it was difficult for me. Moving out was giving him the space to think about our situation. It was also giving me the opportunity to reassess our situation and to work towards healing our marriage. I remember how my friend came and helped me pack some bags, also to make sure that I wasn't attacked. I moved into my elder brother's home. He had a family also. But how did it work? Did that work? Let's find out. You'll find out later. After staying by myself, after staying by himself for weeks, He started calling for reconciliation, and how we now sees what how he now sees what I have been saying. He went to church and spoke to our pastors. And on one fateful day, one of our associate pastor, Pastor Dickbrook, called me and said he wanted to see me. I gave him my address and he came. And after I had narrated all that transpired to him, he was speechless. He said he has been struggling with God while driving to my brother's place. He said he was praying for God's intervention, and that God should give him the right words, and he has already promised my ex-husband that he was going to take me by the hand and bring me back to the house. But while he was doing that, while he was praying and while he was driving, God kept saying to him, I am a jealous God. He said he was asking God, what has jealousy got to do with him coming to settle a marriage dispute? He was doing the right thing by by intervening in our marriage. But God kept telling him, I am a jealous God. Then he gave me some other, after he has listened to me, heard the story, heard my own side of the story, he now realized why God was saying that he is a jealous God. He will not share the glory with any man. So he gave me some instructions, some specific instructions, which you will find out in my book, In the Fire But Not Consumed. Because there are so many things I cannot say on the video because the Lord has not given me the permission to say some of them. But those informations, they are all exposed in the book. So how did that go? Trust me, the church prevailed, my pastors prevailed. I ignored those warnings after so much pleading from other pastors, and I was already sensing displeasure from my brother's wife. I didn't want to ruin the relationship we had by staying too long at her place, and as I was already inconveniencing her with my prolonged stay. Going back was a disaster, and everything the pastor said, some happened, and God's mighty intervention prevented others from happening. So today we're talking about tough love. Tough love is, though you're going to make those decisions, those tough decisions, you're going to make them in love, but you're going to make them prioritizing yourself and the safety of your children. So, the key principles. What are the key principles of tough love? One, it is setting boundaries. Establish clear and firm boundaries regarding what is acceptable behaviors. Communicate these boundaries clearly to your partner and be prepared to enforce them. Number two, prioritizing safety. Recognize that your safety and the safety of any children involved must come first. Create a safety plan that includes steps to take if you need to leave the situation quickly. Number three, seeking professional help. Reach out to counselors, support groups, and domestic violence advocates. Yes, professional guidance can provide strategies for coping and planning your next steps, because you might not be able to do it alone by yourself. Number four, holding the abuser accountable. It is important that to understand that the abuser is responsible for their actions. Yes, Matthew 18:17 says, if they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen, if they refuse to listen to even the church, treat them as you would treat a pagan or an infidel. Tough love involves not enabling abusive behaviors and expecting accountability. Number five, self care and support. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. Lean on supportive friends, family, and faith communities. What are your practical steps to take? Acknowledge the abuse. Yes, recognizing and admitting the abuse is the first critical step. Yes, acknowledge that this is abuse. Acknowledge that this marriage is an abusive relationship. I am in an abusive marriage. Acknowledge that first. Denial only prolongs the suffering and prevents healing. Number two, set and enforce boundaries. Clearly state what behaviors are unacceptable and what the consequences will be. Stick to these boundaries even when it is difficult. Yes, I know you love this person, but at some point you have to stick to your boundaries. You have to hold them accountable. Create a safety plan. Identify safe places to go to and have essential items ready. Inform trusted individuals about your situation and your plan. Seek legal protection. Consider obtaining a restraining order if necessary and know your legal rights and resources available to you. Number five, practice self love and forgiveness. Understand that practicing tough love is an act of self respect and care. It is an act of self preservation. Yes, forgive yourself for any perceived shortcomings and recognize your strength and courage. And the last thing that you need to do is to embrace the future. Practicing self love in an abusive marriage is about making the hard choices that prioritize your health and well being. It is about setting boundaries, holding the abuser accountable, and ensuring your safety and the safety of your journey. The journey is not easy, but it is necessary for you finding healing and peace. In conclusion, tough love in an abusive marriage requires strength, courage, and support. By setting boundaries, prioritizing safety, seeking help, and holding the abuser accountable, you take essential steps towards a healthier and safer future. Remember Proverbs chapter 4, verse 22, it says you should guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of your life. You deserve to live free from fear and harm with dignity and respect. Thank you for your attention today, and may you find the strength and support needed to practice tough love in the most challenging of circumstances. May God bless you and protect each one of you. May God keep you. May God help you to take this right step before it is too late. Next, in our next video, I'm going to be talking about the effects of abuse on your health and on your life. Come back next time. Bookmark this video.